We have a problem back here at home with Haitian immigrants who continue to be rewarded for their illegal lawbreaking and coming into this country and staying here and taking advantage of taxpayers by Republicans. First, it was Democrats, because what happened was under Joe Biden, he let 350,000 Haitians have temporary protected status in the United States. And as soon as Trump got in, he revoked that, saying Haiti is no longer a danger. You have nothing you need to be protected from. Go home. Well, the Democrats sued. And of course, they got a federal district judge to say, Trump was out of line. You can't enforce that. And that's a case that's about to go up to the U.S. Supreme Court at the end of April. But in the meantime, just in case the Supreme Court does the right thing, the Republicans decided to try to get in the way of that relief being provided to us and the Trump administration. And some 20 of them sided with Democrats in the House to pass a bill that would continue the temporary protected status for the Haitians. It passed the House thanks to Republicans who thought this was a good idea. It's such a betrayal. I mean, it is a betrayal. They understand exactly what the Trump agenda was and why he was put in office, why they're in office, and it's certainly not to make it easier on illegals. So multiple Republicans, including Maria Salazar, our friend down in Florida, Republican, who's pushing the amnesty bill right now. Of course, she voted for this. Don Bacon, Brian Fitzpatrick, Carlos Jimenez, Nicole Maliotakis, Mario Diaz-Balart, Mike Lawler of New York.
Yeah, that's right. He's from New York. She made the point later that she's a New Yorker. She doesn't live here now. She lives in, Arizona, Montana, some western state. But I'm a New Yorker, and I don't like what Lawler and Maliotakis are doing. She actually used the F word. She's like, F you, Lawler, Maliotakis. Doesn't matter. I like Megyn Kelly less and less every day. I don't pay any attention to her anymore. She's the enemy at this point. I'm sorry. She just is. She's up Tucker Carlson's ass so far, she's checking for polyps. So no thanks. You can sell yourself as a sorry Maureen Walsh, make up Maureen, I'm sorry. She sells herself as one thing, but she's not. And when you start buddying up like she does to anti-Semites, you become one yourself. So I don't really care what she said. I just played it to piss off Mike Lawler. So with that said, here he is, Mr. Salt, Mike Lawler. I mean, it's still out there for what it's worth. The Amnesty Bill, the Dignity Act, the Amnesty Bill. They're still breaking your balls, huh?
Listen, it's fine. If you can't stand the heat, don't get in the kitchen. The fact is, these are serious, complex issues, and they're way more nuanced than people want to make them. The people that are here on temporary protected status are here lawfully. They are lawfully in the country. They have work authorization, which means that they are participating in our workforce, which also means they're paying taxes. But for the Haitian population in particular, a third of them are working in our healthcare system. That means they're nurses in our hospitals. They're working in our nursing homes, taking care of our seniors. They're providing care to the intellectually and developmentally disabled. My point has been very simple. The president has the authority to end TPS. I am not arguing that. But by the way, Congress has the authority to legislate. Apparently, Megyn Kelly doesn't believe that. But the fact is that, yes, the president under the law has the authority to end or extend TPS. I'm not objecting to his ending TPS. What I am saying is if you're going to do it wisely and don't just cut it off all at once.
Right.
You have to have a transition period during which these immigration cases are being adjudicated. Because, by the way, what will happen is, okay, TPS ends. There's a 6-month window that these cases are going to be heard because they're going to apply for asylum. They're going to apply for another type of visa. And I'm simply saying if you're going to go through that process, keep the work authorization in place so that it doesn't create a catastrophe in our healthcare system. That's been my argument to the administration for well over a year.
Sounds fair to me. I don't know what people are upset about. Nicole made the same case. She was on a couple of days ago, so I don't want to spend too much time on this because I want to get to people cheating. But you're right.
People here's the thing with people like Megyn at this point, and it's actually kind of sad because Megyn is an intelligent person. But the fact is, this is all clickbait. Let's get everybody into a rage. Let's give them half the story. Let's use words like amnesty and just piss everybody off. As I've said before, I am 1,000% in support of securing the border. Nobody should be crossing into our country illegally anymore, period. It never should have happened to begin with, but it did. And the president ran on this. He won on it. He is right. Secure the border. We are doing that. The president ran on deporting criminal aliens. We are doing that. I support it 1,000%. I don't care if it's shoplifting. I don't care if it is, an assault. Whatever the case, if you commit a crime, goodbye. Period.
Yep.
Full stop. End of story. There's no safe harbor for criminals anymore, and that should be. I want to end sanctuary cities. I have railed against it. I have railed against one of my opponents who tried to make Rockland County a sanctuary. So we are in agreement on the vast majority of issues. But the fact is, there are complications within this system that has been broken for 40 years. And I love the people who just say, just deport them all, deport them all. That's not reasonable. It's not feasible. It's not honest. And it's not possible. The president did the largest deportation force in American history. And how many did we deport? 675,000 people, 1.9 million people self-deported. There are 25 million people who are undocumented.
Right.
Let's be honest and real about the situation instead of lying to everybody, getting them into a tizzy, and not actually explaining what the situation is.
One more.
I am trying to work through it honestly and sincerely.
Okay.
I am in full agreement on getting rid of everybody who has broken the law, period.
We got you. I'm on your side on this, just so you know. I'm not Megyn Kelly. I don't even like her. I want to do one more thing, play one more thing for you here. Then we'll get to the cheaters in your race. Got about 8 minutes to go. This is your fellow congressman. In fact, we had dinner together, all of us, right after the president invited me up on stage, night 3 of Hanukkah. We went to the Capitol Grill together. And talking about getting people out of here and citizenship, here is our mutual friend, Congressman Randy Fine. This is cut 6, Lewis. I want your opinion, Mike Lawler, on what he had to say yesterday.
I'm Congressman Randy Fine. It is disgusting that someone can sneak into this country, have a baby, and then they become a paperwork American. We just learned that 10% of babies born in America shouldn't even be here. That's why I'm calling on the Supreme Court to ban birthright citizens. If your parents are illegal, you should be too. And if they don't solve this problem, I'll be filing a constitutional amendment to ban birthright citizenship. Being American is more than a piece of paper, and we need to stop this paperwork American crisis that's before us.
I agree with Randy Fine. How does Mike Lawler feel?
Well, obviously, birthright citizenship emanated as a result of slavery and the Civil War, and recognizing, obviously, some of the challenges that resulted from people not being treated as whole persons and citizens. And so when you look at how this has evolved and abused by people coming into the country illegally and having a baby and immediately that child becoming a citizen.
Well, not just having a baby. There's one example that Gordon Chang gave me last week of a Chinese couple in Brooklyn who had 24 kids.
No question. Look, there's a reason people come to this country to do that. My view is there is a happy medium, if you will. If somebody is here lawfully and legally and has a child, that child should be granted citizenship. If somebody is here illegally and basically for the purpose of doing that, they should not.
Well, that's what Fine said. Fine said illegally. He said illegally.
Right. So, but if somebody is here lawfully, if somebody is here on a green card, if somebody is here on a legal status,
right,
and they have a child, I have no problem with that. If somebody is here illegally, I do think that needs to be addressed. Now, what the Supreme Court will decide, I don't know, because the language in the Constitution, is specific to persons here. It doesn't distinguish between. So how they will actually rule, I'm not sure. And if they rule against, I would certainly be open to an amendment that would clarify what it should be. Again, to me, this is simple. Follow the rule of law. You shouldn't be rewarded for bad behavior. It's why on the Dignity Act, I don't support a pathway to citizenship. I fundamentally believe legal status is one thing to, get somebody out of the shadows, have them work, pay taxes, pay a back fine. But if you're committing a crime, as I said, deported. But the fact is, if you broke the law in coming here, you should not be rewarded with citizenship.
Bottom line, let's get to your race. I got about 3 minutes to go. Mike Lawler, the king of Rockland County, and he's going to win again because he's great. This is an unbelievable story. So this lady, I guess, who's running against you, Effie Phillips Staley, that's her name, she has admitted, according to what I've read, she's admitted to widespread fraud. She's admitted to it. Yet, she has people on her side of the aisle. Maybe it's people like Kate Conley. Maybe it's people like Beth Davidson, these Democrats, that are still defending her. She's still in the race. Wait a second. She admitted to widespread fraud. She's cheating. She is cheating in her upcoming race against you. And her teammates on the left are saying, it's okay. Go get him. Is that what's going on here?
I've been in politics and government for quite a while. I have never in my life seen a candidate file a motion in court to admit that there is widespread fraud in their petitions. And yesterday in court, they stipulated before the judge, they stipulated that hundreds of signatures were fraudulently obtained. We have witnesses going on the stand yesterday and again on Friday, tomorrow. And we are questioning them as to how this fraud was perpetrated. She's out there saying, oh, no, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Mike Lawler's just attacking me because he doesn't want to face me. I'd love to face her. I think it's absolutely insane. I mean, this is somebody who embraced Hassan Piker. She went on his podcast. She's a total left-wing nut. But the fact is, she is perpetrating a fraud. And the people who constantly lecture everybody about protecting democracy and election integrity suddenly have no interest in either. And my point is, if you are going to perpetrate a fraud to the tune of hundreds of signatures, I mean, we're not talking like, oh, somebody signed and they were a registered Republican and didn't realize. We're not talking about, oh, they put the wrong address down. We're talking about systemic fraud, just making up signatures. And we caught them red-handed. And she admitted it. I mean, this is unheard of for a candidate to admit.
So how was she not? How was she not automatically disqualified?
Look, we are pushing for the judge to rule that the fraud has permeated the entirety of the petition, and that she be removed from the Democratic primary. Now,
of course,
she is also on the Working Families Party line. She is the Working Families Party candidate. And then you have Kate Conley and Beth Davidson running against her in the Democratic primary. They, are the top two competitors. Effie, I would say, is in a distant third. But, of course, they would like to get Effie, if they win the primary, they would like to get her off the Working Families Party line so that they could go on it. And under New York state law, you can do that if you lose a major party primary.
Right.
But you can't do that if you're not in a major party primary. And so, ultimately we'll see what happens here between all of the candidates. But Kate Conley, this is a woman who, prides herself in that she oversaw the 2024 elections in America while she was working in the Biden administration at CISA, cybersecurity, and she oversaw the election department. Now, if you oversaw the election department and one of your opponents submits fraudulent signatures and admits it in court, one would think you would have enough courage to say, yeah, that's a problem. You should get out. But no, we're silent. we're silent because, God forbid, we ever call out Democrats when they break the law.
Wow. Well, I'm going to call him out because I do that on this show all the time. Like, I'll call out Guy Mitchell's name all day long. He's the judge that gave Eric Duran 3 to 9 years. So these are the three ladies up in Rockland County. One of them will eventually
By the way, Eric is a constituent of mine.
Yep.
Eric should be released. This was an unjust decision. It was an unjust sentence and conviction. And if Kathy Hochul had any spine whatsoever, she would do the right thing and pardon him immediately.
Well, she doesn't. So she doesn't, and Bruce Blakeman's going to win. Then he's going to do it. He's made that promise already. But these are the three ladies that are vying to take on Mike Lawler come November. Effie Phillips Staley, she's a cheater. I'm going to say it right now. Effie Phillips Staley, she's a cheater. Kate Conley and Bette Davidson, who's also a psycho. These are the three ladies efforting to take on Mike Lawler in November. So it sounds to me, Mike, on the way out, like another easy win for Lawler in Rockland County.
Well, we're going to work hard. We got about 6 months to go and certainly need everybody's support. So go to lawlerforcongress.com. It's going to be about a $60 million race when all is said and done.
Jeez.
That's how control of Congress is going to come down to only a handful of districts. Mine's one of them, and everybody who wants to keep a Republican majority needs to get on board.
What is this big party you're having with my friend who was actually on the last Yankee World Series team? I'm a big Yankee fan now. My team that won it back in 2009. Mark Teixeira. That's my team. I love my Yanks. Mark Teixeira, isn't he in town this week or something?
He's going to be headlining an event for me next Thursday up in Rockland County. So reach out if you want to join us. Mark Teixeira will be there. It'll be a great event. As you know, he's running for Congress down in Texas. He won his primary overwhelmingly, and so he'll be a member of Congress next year, which is great news for the Republicans because our baseball team is going to be winning year after year after year.
I love that. Yeah, Teixeira down in Texas, and then you've got the former NFL kicker who kicked for both local teams here, the Jets and Giants.
Jay Feely.
That's right, Jay Feely in Arizona. So we got a bunch of hotshot, good-looking, tough athletes running for Congress. But
and the Democrats have people like Eric Swalwell. So
that. He's in trouble for something else now. I guess he used a house to start up his AI company or something. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. This guy is as corrupt and crooked as it gets. And, let's say he was using campaign funds to go to Ruben Gallego's wedding. That guy is really got problems and questions that need to be answered.
Yep.
Their other friend, Jimmy Gomez, he's being accused. Lots of things flying. And we've had 3 resignations and 1 death in 1 week. So four members down in the House of Representatives in just 1 week.
Wow. Don't forget, Ruben is the guy that beat our friend Carrie Lake in Arizona 2 years ago. Hey, Lawler, great job as always. We love you. I think you're as good as it gets in Congress. I really mean that. And we'll talk again soon. But again, Effie Phillips Staley, Kate Conley, Bette Davidson, psychos. Mike Lawler, hero. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
Take care. Mike Lawler, the king of Rockland County, or of course, as President Trump refers to him, Mr. Salt.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?